The front door clicked shut behind Jungkook, the sound echoing slightly in the quiet house. He'd barely managed to kick off his expensive shoes and toss his suit jacket onto the couch before his tired eyes landed on you in the kitchen. Jungkook's shoulders slumped almost imperceptibly as his gaze swept across the familiar space. The aroma of something delicious cooking filled the air, a stark contrast to the sterile smell of his office. Jungkook paused in the doorway, his tie already loosened around his neck. The sight of you moving gracefully in the kitchen, illuminated by the warm overhead light, made some of the tension in his shoulders ease. Jungkook's dark eyes softened as they followed your movements. The rigid set of his jaw relaxed slightly, replaced by a more familiar expression, a mixture of exhaustion and affection. Jungkook watched you for another moment, his posture relaxing further as the stress of his day began to melt away. He took a few steps into the kitchen, his expensive shoes making soft sounds against the tile floor. You turned to look at him and smiled. "You are back home already. I'm almost done making dinner." Jungkook's expression warmed instantly at your smile, the lingering fatigue in his features melting away completely. He covered the distance between you in 3 long strides, stopping just close enough to feel the heat radiating from your body. "Already," he murmured, his voice rougher than usual from the long day. One hand came up to cup your cheek gently, thumb brushing over your skin. "I missed you," he admitted quietly, leaning down to press a soft kiss to your forehead, his other arm wrapped around your waist, pulling you flush against his chest. Jungkook inhaled deeply, burying his face in the crook of your neck and shoulder. The familiar scent of your shampoo, mixed with your natural fragrance, was a balm to his weary senses. A low groan rumbled in Jungkook's chest as he held you tighter. His day-long exhaustion seemed to vanish under the comforting weight of having you in his arms again. You smiled softly. "Why don't you go and take a shower? I'll serve dinner in the meantime." Jungkook lifted his head, a soft smile spreading across his tired features. "That sounds perfect." His grip around your waist loosened slightly as he pulled back just enough to look at you properly. "Thank you, love," Jungkook said, his voice softer now that some of the tension had drained from him. He leaned down to brush a quick kiss against your lips, letting it linger for a moment longer than necessary. "You're the best," he whispered against your mouth before reluctantly pulling away. His hands slid from your waist to give you a final squeeze before turning toward the hallway leading to their bedroom and bathroom. Jungkook's footsteps echoed faintly down the hall as he headed for the master bedroom. The sound of running water soon filled the silence, signaling his shower beginning. As Jungkook disappeared from view, you turned back to finish preparing dinner. The kitchen felt quieter, without his presence filling the space with his energy and warmth. The sound of running water continued from upstairs, a steady rhythm against the quiet hum of the refrigerator. You moved efficiently around the kitchen island, plating up the steaming food. The sound of water stopped abruptly upstairs, replaced by the faint creak of floorboards as Jungkook likely stepped out of the shower. A few minutes later, Jungkook reappeared in the kitchen doorway, now dressed comfortably in black sweatpants and a simple gray t-shirt that clung to his damp, muscled frame. Jungkook ran a hand through his wet hair, droplets still clinging to the ends, as he walked toward the kitchen table where you had placed 2 plates. The fresh scent of soap and clean skin filled the air around him. Jungkook pulled out a chair and sat down, his damp hair falling slightly into his eyes. He watched you move around the kitchen with obvious appreciation, the earlier weariness gone from his expression. That smells amazing. Jungkook leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms over his chest, as he continued to watch you with open admiration. Seriously, how did I get so lucky to have someone like you taking care of me? You chuckles playfully. That's enough praising me. Eat the food before it gets cold. Jungkook laughed softly at your playful tone, the sound warm and genuine. All right, I'm eating. He picked up his fork and took a bite of whatever delicious dish you'd prepared. This is incredible, Jungkook said around his mouthful of food, his eyes closing briefly in pure satisfaction. You always manage to make everything taste better than any restaurant we could go to. He swallowed and reached across the table to catch your hand, bringing it to his lips for a gentle kiss on your knuckles. Really though, thank you for doing this tonight. It means more than you know, after the week I've had. You hesitated for a moment before speaking. Jungkook, can I ask you something? Jungkook noticed your hesitation and set his fork down, giving you his full attention. His expression turned serious as he waited for your question, sensing that whatever was on your mind must be important. You smiled awkwardly and start playing with your food. It's not that important, but I want to visit your office with lunch, can I? Jungkook's eyebrows raised slightly in surprise at your request. For a moment he just stared at you, processing the idea of you showing up unexpectedly during his busy workday. A slow smile spread across Jungkook's face as realization dawned on him. My office, he repeated, his voice carrying a hint of amusement and something warmer beneath it. You want to bring me lunch at work? Jungkook's smile widened, a mischievous glint entering his eyes. Of course you can, love. I would love that. He leaned forward across the table, lowering his voice conspiratorially. I might even find a reason to keep you there longer than just lunch, he added with a wink, his tone taking on a suggestive edge. You blushed and looked down before taking a bite of your food. Then, I'll come tomorrow. At your office, let's eat lunch together. Jungkook's grin widened at your shy response, clearly pleased by the effect his words had on you. He watched you eat for a moment before picking up his own fork again. Tomorrow it is. Perfect, Jungkook said smoothly, cutting another piece of meat from his plate. Just text me when you're on your way so I can clear my schedule accordingly. You nodded. Okay, I'll make sure to text you on the way. After finishing dinner, you started to wash the dishes, while Jungkook left to the bedroom. Jungkook stood in the doorway of the kitchen, watching you work for a moment before turning to head toward the bedroom. Don't stay up too late washing those. He called back from the hallway, and come join me in bed when you're done. I want to hold you tonight. The sound of his footsteps faded up the stairs as you finished cleaning up alone in the quiet kitchen. Jungkook was already under the covers when you finally climbed into bed beside him. He shifted immediately, wrapping an arm around your waist and pulling you against his chest. Took you long enough, he teased softly, nuzzling into your hair. His free hand found yours beneath the blanket, lacing their fingers together. Jungkook's breathing deepened as he settled against you, the familiar weight of his arm around your waist, feeling like coming home after a long day. Jungkook's breathing grew heavier, his chest rising and falling steadily against your back. His arm tightened possessively around your middle, anchoring you securely to him. Within moments, his breathing evened out into the deep, regular pattern of sleep. Jungkook's grip on you remained firm even in slumber, as if subconsciously refusing to let go of what he considered his. Even in sleep, Jungkook's possessive nature remained evident, his leg hooked over both of yours, effectively trapping you beneath him without conscious effort. Morning sunlight streamed through the bedroom windows, casting golden stripes across the rumpled sheets. Jungkook stirred first, his eyes blinking open slowly to find you still curled against his chest. A lazy smile spread across his face as he realized you were still there, not having slipped away to start your day early as usual. His arm tightened reflexively around you. "Good morning." Jungkook's voice was raspy with sleep, yet warm with affection. He pressed a soft kiss to the top of your head, inhaling deeply as if committing your scent to memory. "How did you sleep?"